Now, Disney World has some amazing snacks that are iconic, but what about those not so amazing snacks? Today, we are going to be trying the worst snacks in Walt Disney World, and I hope that you're a little hungry because it's a sadly long list. Today, in the ultimate science experiment, we are going to go around Walt Disney World trying the worst snacks. So that way you know what to not spend your money and your time on when you're here spending money to see the mouse. Now, some of these snacks you might be surprised to see, some of these snacks you might be upset to see, and some of these you might be glad to see on this list. So it just makes sense to start with the most iconic place of all, Magic Kingdom. For our first bad snack here in Magic Kingdom, we are starting at the Confectionary, which is a little bit ironic because we love the Confectionary. Now, the Confectionary has some incredible sweets and eats. Now, you're gonna notice those candy apples, the fresh things, the cupcakes, like those Disney classics that are made fresh here. But there are some things that are not made fresh here that we think are actually the worst snacks in Disney World. And although we love it, this M&M wall really kind of puts into perspective some of the worst snacks in Disney World. Now, this is fun, don't get me wrong. So you're gonna grab a bag and then you're gonna fill it with what you wanna fill it with. First, I'm gonna get mini M&Ms. One thing that Breedlove points out is that the mini M&Ms are next to the Skittles, and if you're not paying attention, the colors are kind of similar, and I think that that's kind of a disaster waiting to happen. Essentially what I went with was mini M&Ms, and then I got some red, green, and white because I thought that sounded like a lot of fun. So we're gonna try them. We're gonna talk about why this is actually one of the worst snacks you can get. Yeah, the reason why we all on our team agree that this is one of the worst snacks you can get in Disney World, I paid $5 for that. They're M&Ms. You can get M&Ms anywhere in the world, and that's exactly the problem. If you know that your kiddo has allergies and this is something that they can have and it's a safe option, of course, get it. Or if you just like M&Ms, sure. But Disney World has so many amazing fun snacks in every single park that it almost feels like an injustice to us if you're grabbing M&Ms just because they're different colors and you can pour them yourselves. That's why it's on the worst list, and I stand by that, even though I will eat the whole bag. It's unrelated. On a scale of 1 to 5 icks, I'm gonna give this one 4 icks because I think it's crazy that you have to make your own snack, and it's just not worth the money to me. I said it. Now we're going from the Confectionary up to the bakery in Poor Main Street. You have 2 of the 3 in this park, but this is one that you just, we'll say it with our chest. We've said it before, and if you know anything about AllEars, you know why we are here. And it's for the one, the only, the Mickey Cinnamon Roll. Let's get it. We're gonna talk about it, see if it gives us the ick, and then probably keep it on the list. Okay, on our list is, of course, the Mickey Cinnamon Roll. And if you know anything about us, you're not really that surprised that this has made the list. So this is a cinnamon roll with a white chocolate bow, and it has always seemed to kind of the time of year that you're here. So this is around the holidays that I'm filming this, but it's always here. It just might look a little bit different, but at its core, it's the same. A cinnamon roll with some chocolate and a white bow. So this is like not the worst cinnamon roll in the world per se. It's warm, it's cinnamony, but it's a little bit on the dry side. It's not really ooey gooey like you like a good hot cinnamon roll. The chocolate is fine. It really doesn't add much, but honestly the sprinkles, they're a cute addition visually, but I just don't want my cinnamon roll crunchy. I want it warm and ooey and gooey, and if you are gonna be in Magic Kingdom, this is not the breakfast for you. If you're gonna go to Starbucks, get your drink, like we always do. But maybe skip the cinnamon roll. They have those classic Starbucks breakfast sandwiches over there, and they even have a really great grilled cheese with tomato soup. There's just a lot better options. On the ick meter, I'm gonna give this one a 3 out of 5 because it's not like a crime if you get it. But if you choose this over a Gaston cinnamon roll, that's like a level 5 ick. Like that's just a bad choice. When there is a Gaston cinnamon roll, just maybe a 8-minute walk away, you're making a mistake if you get this. So definitely, I'm bumping it up 5 on the ick meter. 5. If you want some really good breakfast recommendations, we have a full, complete, comprehensive breakfast guide up on the channel right now, which you can go check out. And we talk about much better options here in Magic Kingdom that isn't this kind of so-so cinnamon roll that you're only eating because it's shaped like a mouse. Now, thankfully, we are giving Main Street a break, but we did come back to Fantasyland to check out Pinocchio's Village House. And sorry, Pinocchio, but your Village House restaurant, is easily on the worst list. Now, I placed my mobile order, and again, this is a Breedlove recommendation, so if you don't already know, it is going to be plant-based. However, I am somebody who enjoys a lot of plant-based dining around Disney World, so the fact that this is on the list means it's just bad. Now for Pinocchio's Village House, it is actually themed after the movie Pinocchio, of course, and it has some really incredible decor inside, and there's even a little special seating area where you can go and look and watch people go through. It's a small world. Now I did mobile order because it is pretty busy in Disney World right now, but no matter the time of year, we always recommend mobile ordering. It just helps save some time and maybe no impulse purchasing, which is helpful. Okay, now despite the fact that the interior is so cute, I have to admit Pinocchio's is not one of our favorite stops. If you have ever watched any of our Magic Kingdom stuff, you will find out we're not really here a lot. Now, we've done a full review and you can check that out in our Eat Everything Fantasyland video. But this is one thing that I have not personally had, and when I asked our co-workers to pick their brains a little bit on what do we think the worst eats are, multiple people said this, and I've heard Breedlove talk about it, so I figured it has to go on the list. So let's look at it and let's talk about it. Okay, so this is it. This is our plant-based pizza. This is a pizza topped with tomato sauce and what Disney describes as, in quotations, mozzarella. That's all it says. Quotations, mozzarella. And that's all the info I have. So let's try it out. Okay. For fair assessment, I'm gonna go back in for a second bite. I feel pretty confident that this is on the worst list. Now, before you say like, oh, I wouldn't get plant-based anyways, there are some incredible plant-based options around Disney World that I actively choose when I'm eating just because they are that good. And there are a lot of plant-based options that I really like. This is not one of those. The mozzarella is sticking to like my teeth and the roof of my mouth. I think that the crust is a little bit different than the other flatbreads you can get here. I don't know if it's a gluten-free crust or whatever. It's not bad. It's very gooey, like doughy, which I don't always love in my pizzas. Of course, it's just normal tomato sauce, but this is just not great. If you are eating plant-based, there are so many better options. Even just here in Magic Kingdom, I know one of Breedlove's favorites is the plant-based dog up at Casey's Corner. There are good options. This is not one of them. If you have to eat plant-based or you choose to, or even if you're allergy friendly, I promise, better options. This is not one of them. I'm giving this one 5X because I've never had mozzarella stick to my teeth like that, and it just is inherently bothering me. Now, Magic Kingdom is not the only one with some ick-worthy snacks, and even though you might not think, oh, that's horrible, I mean, just there's better ways to spend your money. So let's head over to our next park and check out some of the worst eats over there.
Sage here, popping in at my favorite park, Disney's Hollywood Studios. And I'm here bringing you the worst snacks here at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Starting off here at Muppet Courtyard. Of course, we gotta talk about it, Pizza Rizzo. Pizza Rizzo is going to be your average pizza joint here in Disney's Hollywood Studios. Now, it is in Muppet Courtyard, which means it is all very Muppet themed. And I think that might be one of the best things about this location. I'm gonna do my best to not, completely just rag on it, but it is not very well liked within the Disney foodie community for a couple different reasons, but let's go try it out. First things first, the atmosphere at Pizza Rizzo, it's as if someone made a pizza joint in the middle of a New York subway. Between the brick walls and the New York signage, it definitely screams New York subway pizza joint. The most unique thing about Pizza Rizzo, the atmosphere, is the wedding room. It's as if someone put a wedding room in this convention space and they've got fun like wedding style music playing, and they've got party lights going. There's even a dance floor in there, which is a lot of fun. But really, we're here to talk about the snacks, and we've got the pizza, the puff pizza, the personal puff pizza. I got pepperoni because why not? You can do a couple different things, the cheese, the pepperoni. It does come with a side salad, or you can substitute for something else. And then you can opt for Parmesan cheese or red pepper flakes, which I always love. You can get them like next to the forks and knives and things like that. So I know what this tastes like, but for now, let's give it a shot. It's just disappointing. Don't get me wrong, it's not the worst pizza in the world, but it definitely feels as if it's the equivalent of a frozen pizza that you just put in the microwave, or, you know, you're really hungry and the only thing you can stop for is pizza in one of those like boxes next to the taquitos at 7-Eleven. That definitely looks like it's been on cardboard, right? It's very flat. There's no flour substance to it. Definitely not made here. Like if you were to visit Via Napoli over at Epcot, even the pizza window at the boardwalk, you'll taste that flour. You'll taste that kind of char from the pizza oven. This is definitely microwavable pizza level. Just for fun, because I'm here, the Caesar salad. I'm a Caesar salad connoisseur. Even the Caesar salad, it just feels a little cold. There's no depth or warmth to it. It just feels like someone got out of a plastic bag and threw it in here. It's not that elevated Disney food you're hoping for. Definitely a skip in my book. This root beer is delicious though. But here at Hollywood Studios, if you're looking for another quick service location that's not really pizza driven, I'm a big fan. I always go to Backlot Cafe. They're always reliable. The food is always pretty solid. ABC Commissary is also slowly becoming one of our favorites as well. The buffalo chicken grilled cheese sandwich is next level. So there are definitely more elevated, better things you can try here at the parks as opposed to puff pizza. I'm gonna say 3 icks, 3 out of 5 icks. It's not the worst thing I've ever eaten. I'm just like, I can literally microwave this kind of stuff at home. Over in the very back of the park is Toy Story Land, where you are shrunken down to the size of the toy and you are free to roam Andy's backyard as if you were a toy. Now right in the middle of Andy's backyard is Woody's Lunchbox. Over at Woody's Lunchbox, you can grab a variety of different things, such as different sandwiches. One of my favorites, the tachos, which is basically tater tot nachos, tachos. But the thing that I want to talk about, and is pretty controversial, is the Lunchbox Tarts. They're basically a glorified Toy Story Pop-Tart. Now, depending on what time of year you are here visiting Hollywood Studios, you can find a couple different things. Now, a reason that this is definitely controversial is because it is never, ever consistent. Sometimes I have had the hot chocolate Lunchbox Tart. The chocolate is rich, the pastry has a nice texture, it's flavorful as well. The icing on top isn't so hard, it's gonna just completely fall apart. I really enjoyed it. And then other times, the pastry has just felt like desert sand in our mouths. The raspberry filling is just so tart, it literally just tastes like sour raspberries. It is incredibly inconsistent and extremely controversial for Disney World foodies. But because of the pure fact that it is completely inconsistent, and I would hate for the one time that you visit Disney World, visit Hollywood Studios, visit Toy Story Land, and visit Woody's Lunchbox to get a Lunchbox Tart be the one time that it is extremely inconsistent, that would be a huge bummer for both you and for me. Which is why these Lunchbox Tarts are going on our worst snack list. Over in Galaxy's Edge, this is the milk stand where you can get the very popular and signature Galaxy's Edge Star Wars themed drink, the blue milk and the green milk. Now, in the lore of Star Wars, blue milk is basically the excretion of a bantha, and the green is the excretion of a siren. Not a Little Mermaid siren, we're talking a kind of a gross siren. Now, you can get the blue milk and green milk with alcohol. Typically, I'm a huge blue milk person. I'm not really either milk person, but if I had to pick between the two, I'd pick blue. In fact, a majority of people would pick blue, which is why another item on the worst snack is the green milk. The green milk has this interesting tropical flavor, but that is almost in an overly sweet way. It makes you feel like you're eating tropical fruity pebbles. Tropical fruity pebbles is what I would call this, especially because of the texture of the green milk. It's not actually a milk consistency. It's more of a rice milk consistency. Very cold, so that part is nice, especially on a warm day, but it is so overly sweet It's not like the blue milk more has like more of a berry kind of situation that I definitely prefer. This is an overly sweet, fruity pebble, and it definitely is not something I would recommend. Just for the simple fact that it's just part of a themed land, and it's from a movie, and there really is a debate, between green milk versus blue milk. I can't give it as many X's as I would probably like to give it, but because it is in a themed land, I'm gonna cut it some slack, and I'm gonna go 2 X. It definitely could be a lot worse.
Now, over in Animal Kingdom, we've got 3 pretty divisive favorites, but first up is going to be over in Pandora. This is kind of a famous treat, and this one is the Pongu Lumpia, which you can find at Pongu Pongu. Pongu Lumpia is essentially a pineapple cream cheese spring roll with sugar on the outside, and some people really love it. This has been a popular treat for a long time, since they opened Pandora. However, for me and a lot of other people, we hate it. It's not good. The cream cheese is weird and hot, and so the pineapple is hot, and it's just an all-around negative combination. Texturally, it's really strange as well. On the ick meter, it's gonna give me literally 5 out of 5 icks. I think it's bad. I don't think it's worth the money. And at the exact same location over at Pongu Pongu, you can get the most incredible large pretzel with beer cheese that is wonderful. Pair it with any of the drinks from the station, and you're just gonna have a great time. Save yourself the trouble. Do not get the Pongu Lumpia. For our second worst snack in Animal Kingdom, we're actually going to stay here in Pandora, and we're going to head into Wind Traders, which is actually a gift shop. Now, inside Wind Traders is where you're going to find the exit queue for Flight of Passage, so there's a lot of fun stuff. You're going to find a lot of Avatar-inspired merchandise, but you're also going to find some prepackaged snacks. Now, these prepackaged snacks are when things get a little weird. They visually look really cool. They have lollipops, gummies, rock candy, a lot of things that look pretty neat. But at the end of the day, they're still prepackaged. It's just not super exciting. They're kind of bland, and honestly, some of them are just downright weird. Compared to all of the actually incredible snacks around Animal Kingdom, this just feels a little bit like a waste of your money and your time. If you're gonna look for anything else in Animal Kingdom and you're looking for some sweets, truly you can go to any other store, but in particular, if you want something really good, you can head over to Zuri's Sweet Shop. Now in Zuri's Sweet Shop, you're gonna find a lot of different things. I personally love the cupcakes or even just the good old candy apples. But to talk a little bit more about those prepackaged candies, frankly, for me, they're just gonna give me a 2 out of 5 on the ick meter, just because they're not that bad, but they're also just not good and definitely not worth your money. Finally, for our last thing here in Animal Kingdom, we honestly have to talk about the thing that you could talk about for any park, but Animal Kingdom snacks are low-key so good, we had to put this one here because we couldn't think of a third one for Animal Kingdom. Unfortunately, though, that's going to be those generic Mickey snacks. So when it comes to generic Mickey snacks, think of things like the Mickey pretzel or even the Mickey ice cream bar. And I know that one, it hurts. It hurts a little bit. It makes me sad because I love a good Mickey ice cream bar. But at this point, it's purely for the nostalgia. Is it really the best bang for your buck other than that good Instagram photo? Not really, sadly. But on the ick meter, I'm only going to give it 1 because it's really just generic. They're just not the best, but they're definitely not bad. However, we absolutely cannot in good faith recommend this on any of your treats worth buying.
For our next park, we are here in Epcot because even though it is known for the food, there are definitely some that you should be avoiding. And some of them are even free, which is crazy. Now here next to the Creation Shop is Club Cool, which is hosted by Coca-Cola. Now you can find a lot of fun stuff in here. You can find some Coke memorabilia. You can even find some specialty drinks. But what a lot of people come for is this freebie little kind of testing area over here. And the worst thing in the world, at least in many of my team's opinion, is over here. And it's free, but also traumatizing. Okay, here it is. This is it, the Beverly. Okay, got my Beverly drink. Okay, so there's a lot of people, so I didn't want to stand over there and take up too much of the space, let other people enjoy things. But there are tons of sodas from all around the world, and that's kind of the fun experience, getting to try new things. Now, infamously, there's one called the Beverly from Italy. We're gonna try it. We're gonna rate it. And then we're gonna have to continue on with our lives, even though we're probably gonna be traumatized and beaten down together. It really is that bad. It reminds me of a medicine I used to have as a kid. There's like a bite in the back of your throat. It's incredibly bitter. Just all around awful. 6 out of 5 on the ick meter. I hate it. I hate it so much. But some members on our team love it. We also think it's a very funny prank to play on your friends. There's a lot of interesting things that happen with it, Beverly. Brings families together, tears them apart, but easily one of the worst things you can try here in Epcot. Now there are lots of good stuff, good options in here. I prefer I think it's the Russian cucumber Sprite is really nice, but overall, just don't do it. Now we're actually gonna try some food this time. We're not just gonna keep it to drinks here in Epcot, but yeah, started off with a tough one. Next up, we are here at what is famously the worst booth every festival, no matter what it is, Italy. Now we are here during a festival, which it's very rare to be here when a festival is not happening in Epcot, but there are a few weeks out of the year. Luckily for us, there's one happening. And this is just more of a general PSA. The Italy booth isn't good. It never is. And you know what? You see this line? It's a pretty long line. Unfortunately for this poor dish, it is carrying the weight of the entire Italy booth on its shoulders. I ended up going with the farfalle and salmon pasta. There is a much nicer way to say it, but I know I would butcher it. So that is essentially what this is. It's some farfalle pasta with smoked salmon in a cream sauce, and you can get this portion for about $10. I chose what I think would be one of my favorite things on the entire menu to give it like a true fighting chance. Cheers. It's just kind of bland. The salmon is nice and very salty, very savory. The farfalle is cooked well. The cream sauce is pretty bland on its own. And frankly, and I'm not tooting my own horn here, I think I could make this at home. And that's kind of the main problem with the Italy booth in general, is it's $10 for a smaller portion, which that's just kind of Epcot. But it's also bland. It's not really the best. And in our experience, in almost every single festival, Italy is the worst booth, and that's why we really warn you, like, don't spend your money here. There's a lot of really great options. If you want to see any of the festival full coverage, they are all up on the channel right now. Every single festival. The one I'm at right now is Festival of the Holidays, and there's significantly better options than this kind of more bland pasta that truly, I think in my heart, I could make at home. Now in the ick meter, I'm only gonna give it one ick, because it's not that bad. It's just, out of all the things, not the best. So unfortunately, that makes it the worst. We've actually made our way into the America Pavilion for Fife and Drum. If you don't know what this is where you are going to find some kind of more basic items, some popcorn, some chill stuff. But really what you're gonna find is the infamous turkey leg. Okay, here it is, the thing that makes people the most angry in all of Disney World. I was gonna say the world, which it kind of is, but really, it's just Disney World. This is it. This is the jumbo turkey leg. Now, you can get these in Epcot and Magic Kingdom, but we're gonna give it to Epcot today. Now, if you don't know this about me, I actually love the turkey legs. I'm gonna go ahead and expose myself, get that out there early, kind of get ahead of the hate, the criticism. I love turkey legs, but I am also not a fool, a clown. I know that a lot of people don't like turkey legs. We're gonna give it a try. I'm gonna tell you my thoughts on it, and then I'm gonna tell you why it's on this list. Cheers. Now for objective discussion. I've taken 3 bites of this, and I'm gonna be honest. I have had really good turkey legs. I've had really bad turkey legs. This one kind of teeters in the middle. It's a little bit stale. It's not super great. But all turkey legs kind of have that smokiness. They're really heavy, very meaty. This one's actually a little bit oily, which is just a little bit older. And I think it's good. I like it. I won't lie to you. However, this is not going to be everyone's taste. It's very heavy, very greasy and oily, like I mentioned. And it can just kind of leave you feeling weighed down, a little bit kind of gross, which I have experienced. However, it's a great thing to share. There's a lot of positives to this if you're trying to stay on budget, but also this is $14. So unless you're sharing this with someone, it's just a little bit too on the expensive side to be not the best quality. I know that I have put my foot down and I've said in the past I like it. Now, I haven't changed my opinion on turkey legs. I still like them. However, I am not ignorant and I know that this is not a crowd pleaser. So it has to stay on the worst, but smoky, meaty, and also might make you feel a little gross. Cheers. If you're talking about alternatives, anything other than this, pretty much. If you're talking about like Disney classics, go get a Dole Whip. You know, when it comes to alternatives for the Beverly, we kind of already talked about the Russian Sprite, the cucumber Sprite. And then when it comes to Italy, any other booth. Really, those alternatives are gonna really take good care of you. But if you want something that is Italian and you're looking for an alternative, go to Via Napoli. Significantly better. Okay, friends, so that is it. The worst of the worst, the reasons you should be saving your money, skipping those items. I promise there are much better options, and we talked about them today. If you guys like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. Now, if you want to see some truly good food, go check out our full Epcot food tour up on the channel right now. I'll see you there.